Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me Pajama Grandma in a turban today. I know, scary, crazy, but got to do something with my hair. It's dry, it's winter, and so I'm doing a little oil and Moroccan oil treatment on it. Today is actually day 347 of What's She Up To Now, documenting my journey of what I've been doing to transition from the offline brick and mortar world of businesses and corporate America to the online world. And I'm thinking about actually moving this from my Be Me to Thrive page to my Sharon Horne-Ellstrom page and working on my brand and who I am and my personality. And, you know, I've been knowing for a year I should do that, but I haven't really been doing it. I've been just playing with figuring out my voice and doing things online. And this year, I'm running into 2019. I'm running into the things that I want to do and that I want to create and the impact that I want to make in this amazing space and amazing world. And as such, I think I need to move the actual Facebook Lives to a page that makes sense. It's been really safe doing them on my obscure pages that nobody really sees, but how can I talk to you if you don't see me? So I'm like, I think it's time to move that. And as I move that, I already wrote up a list today of intros and things I need. I need a name for it. Do I want to keep calling it What's She Up To Now? Do I want to keep numbering from the day that I started doing it? So continue going 348, 349 and keep going that way. And I just thought I kind of want to do that because it shows people that there is no overnight success. We have to all go through this learning curve and learning process. And no, I didn't do it in 30 days. I didn't go from complete newbie to billionaire in 30 days. You know, if I'm up to day, sorry, I'm pokey today. If I'm up to day 697, that tells people, well, that was obviously a several year work in process, as we all are. We're never done. We're never finished completely with what we're doing and what we're here to do and achieve. We just keep always wanting something more and something more. So I'm running into the new year. And just to show you, I do some of the things. Actually, I do all the things that I encourage other people to do. Yesterday, I said, okay, for each of the main areas of your life, come up with one affirmation statement that you can say to yourself every morning as you're brushing your teeth or combing your hair or doing something routine. Maybe you're eating your breakfast or having your first cup of coffee of the day. But make this a habit that you can review your affirmation statements every day. So I actually want to show you that I did this. I put financial, physical, mental, and emotional, spiritual, relationship, and contribution. And I said, okay, what's my affirmation? My I am statement, I am blank right now, and why is it so easy for me to be blank? What is my statement for each of those areas of my life? And just one main one for each area to give me kind of an overriding umbrella perspective of what it is that I'm trying to achieve this year. I also want to show you that I do the same thing that I encourage other people to do. And it's messy, but it's the way I do it. But I actually do the things that I teach people to do. Again, I'm rating on different levels on a scale of 1 to 10. And then how much time am I going to devote to this particular activity or this particular part of my life to try to get not balance. I think balance is complete and utter bullshit. I don't think it's possible to be a completely balanced human being. And maybe there's 3 or 4 people on the planet that are balanced and are like that with all areas of their life. But I've never met anybody like that. I've never known anybody like that. So it's outside my possibility of belief. So I say, let's do the best we can with providing some energy and spending some time on each of the main areas of our life, but not worry about them being balanced. There is no balance. There aren't balanced relationships where everybody gives 50-50 and then the world works out and with our rose-colored glasses. There's nobody that I know that spends a balanced amount of time on their physical well-being, their health, their emotional health, their spiritual health, their business, their occupation, their sleep, their everything. I don't know anybody that's ever achieved that ultimate balance. And here's the trick is, what's right for you is different than what's right for me. So the ultimate balance and the ultimate percentage of time and energy spent on each of those areas of our life is different for every one of us. Me, I love to work. Work to me is play and fun. So I spend a whole lot more time and energy on building my online businesses, working, interviewing people, talking to people, helping people to build their businesses than most other people would think is is normal or balanced or okay. Ask my kids, they'll tell you I work all the time because that's what I love doing. But that doesn't mean I don't need to pay attention to my health and my physical well-being. It doesn't mean I don't have to pay attention to my mental, my spiritual, by how am I contributing to the world, to my relationships. It means I get to decide what percentage of time I'm going to spend in each of those areas of my life. So I'm working on that. I've got interviews for the Women's Summit today, and I need to start building out the funnels and I was thinking this morning as I was waking up, I need to get a waiting list funnel up so that people can start to sign up for the waiting list for the Women's Summit. Even though the funnel isn't ready for the summit yet, I can knock out a waiting list funnel in a couple of hours, and I can have that up and running. And then I can start sharing that. So whenever I'm doing videos or posting on social media and things, I can invite people to go ahead and sign up for the waiting list by going to the waiting list funnel. I also have been working on, I want to produce in 2019 more content that makes sense and is on purpose. I'm really, really good at ad-libbing, and in 2018, I created a ton of content, but it didn't get much exposure, and I know why it didn't. It didn't because I wasn't speaking to you. I wasn't speaking to you, my ideal person, my favorite, best, most amazing person that I want to work with. That's you. And I wasn't speaking to you. I was trying to figure out my voice, and I was just sharing information. I was not regurgitating, but I was just sharing stuff that I know to be true personally. And you may or may not care about that because I wasn't targeting my audience, and I need to target and be more specific. I got really good at, obviously, as I sit here in a turban, being myself and just putting myself out there, which is, it's hard. That's the hardest part. But once you get over that hurdle of putting yourself out there and not being afraid of that, well, then it's like, well, how am I really adding value? What am I doing and what am I sharing to super add value to your life? Because if I'm not adding value to your life, why the heck would you listen to me? You're not going to. So I just brainstormed a list of some of the major problems of my target audience. Now, as I'm looking at this list, I find it fascinating and interesting that for my target audience, these are their specific problems and challenges. But as I look at the challenges and problems, it's amazing to me how common these challenges are, or these obstacles, to a lot of different specific groups, a lot of different niches, a lot of different tribes or people that you would be talking to. For example, I don't have any time. How many people on the planet don't think they have enough time? Hello? Like every person that's living and breathing, unless maybe they're retired, I don't know. Pretty much everybody I know, one of their biggest objections and biggest challenges is always, I don't have any time. I don't have time to do that. I can't take on one more project. I've already got 400 things on my to-do list. So I don't have any time. Yeah, pretty common whether you're talking to school teachers, dentists, chiropractors, e-com sellers, coaches, whoever you're talking to, moms, dads, single dads, people that are dating. There's every niche imaginable. No time is a common denominator or a common objection to almost every niche imaginable. Another one is, I don't have any money. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I can't think of a niche or a salesperson that hasn't heard that 1,000, if not 1,000,000 times before. So, and dealing with haters. Let's see, let me grab my magnifying glass. What are some others? Problems are personal power in and not working in your business, not on your business. Now that's specific to business owners or female entrepreneurs. No time, again, that one's pretty universal. Don't know what to do. That one's absolutely positively universal. No money, not enough customers. That's pretty universal too. Not enough help or a team. That's pretty universal. Shit happens. That's absolutely positively universal. Haters, everybody who does anything out of the ordinary and isn't just mediocre, average, and visible is going to at some time have haters or critics. Unsupportive family, friends, or spouses. Yep, that's pretty universal as well. Self-doubt, imposter syndrome, not feeling good enough, limiting beliefs, fears. Those are definitely universal beliefs and thoughts that we can address no matter what niche we're dealing with. And operational challenges, no matter what type business that you have, there's going to be things that happen outside of your control, and you're going to have a little problem-solving method for dealing with those. You don't have to, but otherwise you're just reacting to things all the time instead of being proactive. One thing I learned in corporate America was that we always had contingency plans. We always did these, well, what if scenarios. So what if there was a flood? Here's our exact plan for if there's a flood. And, you know, it was really detailed. What if there's a tornado? Here's our exact plan if there's a tornado. What if there's a power outage? What if there's a strike? What if there's a whatever possibility that could happen? We always had contingency plans for that. I do not know very many entrepreneurs that actually have any sort of, and it doesn't have to be big and elaborate like we did in big corporate America, but you got to have a backup plan. For example, Italian food manufacturing business, freezers were critical because we had no preservatives in our products. We had to have freezers. So we always had a contingency plan. What if the freezer goes down? And inevitably, once every couple of years, even with maintenance, even with taking care of everything, the freezer would go down. So what do we do if the freezer goes down? Now, we had alarms on the freezer, so if the freezer went below a certain temperature, an alarm would sound and would call me. I love new technology like that. So then what did I do? Well, I would call the freezer repairman, right? And if the freezer repairman wasn't available because it was a holiday, I always had a backup of other people that could come and repair the freezer. And then beyond that, I always had an alternate freezer space that I could put my products into if I had to. Now, fortunately, we never had to move our products. We never had the problem that was so bad that we had to transfer our inventory to another freezer. But the system was in place before anything ever happened in case we ever needed it. And that is something that I don't think very many entrepreneurs do or think of. And I think that it would serve us better to at least have an idea or a backup plan instead of having to always be reacting. Now, that isn't the same as saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes to be successful. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm just talking about, do you have an operational challenge idea of what you would do next? And that's a pretty universal thing too. And then systems and technology challenges, pretty much everybody runs into those once in a while. And then the other one I had on here was value of the customer, because I think that not very many businesses actually understand the true value of a customer and of a lifelong customer and a true fan or person that you bring into your organization that actually becomes like a member of your family. They love your business so much. And when I think of this, I think of Apple. Apple is now the first $1 trillion business, not $1 trillion industry, $1 trillion company. And why is that? Because they have built this culture of incredibly loyal fans. Are their products the best? Well, Apple people, which I am not one of that tribe, would tell you yes. My kids swear by their Apple products. I don't like anything like cars and Apple that gets rolled out and they know that it's not right. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but there's a lot of operational functionality and they know things are going to break as they're manufacturing and putting them out. I don't believe in that philosophy. Just because I was a quality manager for too many years, I'm like, you do your best job the first time and then you fix stuff. Absolutely. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you don't put things out there that you know are not right or that are dangerous. The auto industry makes me crazy about this. Well, we'll just make a certain amount of vehicles with this defect, knowing it's a defect, and hopefully it won't kill anybody, but sometimes it kills people. And so that one just morally and ethically bothers me personally, but obviously there's billions and trillions of dollars in industry that don't have a personal problem with that. So it's just an example of some of the things I'm doing to get a little bit more specific with my content, making sure that it helps you as the listener. And I am just not, sharing stuff for the sake of sharing it because I need something to talk about today. I obviously don't have any problem finding things to talk about. So I'll be sharing more things like that, more actionable things. And then again, how do I solve your problem in certain areas? And again, I have my list of here's the common problems for my niche. And they're not just for my niche, which is what makes it really, really powerful because I can create content specifically for you, knowing that it's going to speak to a lot more people than just you. So that's what I'm working on. Running into the new year, I'm going to go actually dry my hair and curl my hair before my interview because nobody wants to see me on the Women's Summit in a turban, right? So I did notice that there was some catastrophes and all of my things fell off my wall. I don't know what happened. My whiteboard finally took an absolute death. And I don't know what happened, but it's like warped and fell off the wall. So that's weird. I think maybe the cat clawed at it and knocked it down and then it got bent. And so we'll get a new one. I'm moving on. That's another thing. This year is going to be a lot of personal change. And again, last year was a really big year for learning and growth. This year is going to be a year for applying those learnings, applying what I learned and changing a whole lot of stuff. I am simplifying. I have been the queen of overcomplication in my life. I think it comes with being a nerdy engineer. And, you know, there's some, I hate to admit this, but there's some thing in me that has to prove that I'm not stupid. I never realized it before, but one of my sisters was giving me a hard time about this the other day. She's like, we know you're not stupid, Sharon. So I don't know. Obviously that first grade reading group really affected me. And so I'm still living out I have to not be stupid. Well, I think part of the proving that you're not stupid is being able to boil things down and explain them so that people can actually understand, grasp them, and use them in their life. Because there's no point knowing things if you can't share it with other people so that they can apply it and make their life better. That's it. Go out, have a fabulous day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.